It's a double blank. Public sector infrastructure financing companies could dash of the ambitious smart cities, citing dash of guaranteed returns on investments. Okay, the options are for crisis, out lack, prefer excess, select lack, cost, and okay, fifth option, the second one is missing. I don't know what that option is, but let's quickly look at, see, the easy thing to do is as soon as you read, look at this sort of a jumble sentence, right? Fill in the blanks. You just need to pay attention to the words surrounding the blank, prepositions, and then look at collocations, right? Crisis of, incorrect. For of, incorrect. So you can quickly eliminate option 1. Public sector infrastructure financing companies could, out of, doesn't make sense. Looking at the context, can somebody help me with the source? Because for me, could, out of, most of you are coming back and saying option 2. And it can't be option 4 also, Tanya, because you can't say could, select of, incorrect. But lack of is the collocation. I agree to that, right? Lack of is the collocation, no doubt about it. Excess of is incorrect. Prefer of is incorrect. Cause of is incorrect. So looking at, but looking at the context, I can't say could, out of, no? Something is missing. So Shilpa has to go and check the option, go and check the source. Maybe she missed out on typing some word from the context, right? Lack of, absolutely right collocation. But from the options, only option 2 and option 4 give me that lack of. So given the context that we have, if Shilpa is here and if Shilpa can, clarify, is there any word that you missed out, Shilpa, after could? Public sector infrastructure financing companies could. See, okay, let's make logical sense of the context, okay? Public sector infrastructure financing companies could dash of the ambitious smart cities, citing dash of guaranteed returns on investments. So basically, the context is saying what these public sector infrastructure financing companies can do is they can rid themselves of or make sure they have nothing to do with this ambitious smart cities, citing, giving the example saying, hey, we don't have enough. How can we be assured that we will get our returns on the investments we make, right? So the only possible thing could be either could rid themselves of, or there should be another word here after could, saying opt is a good example. Opt, could opt out of, that makes sense. Then it will be answer 2. Are you following the context? Public sector infrastructure financing companies could opt out of this ambitious smart cities. Opt out of means they don't want to do anything with this. Why? Because they are saying, they can give the example. Citing means giving that as an example, saying we are not sure that we will get our returns on the investments that we make, of guaranteed returns on investments, right? No, it cannot be 5, Anuba. Not Anuba. Who said 5? Yeah. So another request, please guys, whatever source that you're taking the questions from, make sure you don't miss out on any word when you're typing it, because what will happen is it will change the entire meaning of the context. Okay, thank you, Sai Kiran. Sai Kiran has posted the source. Yeah, so like I said, it's could opt out of the ambitious, yes. Citing lack of. There you go. No, we still can't use option 4. Who is this? Somebody asked if we remove off in the first blank or second blank. So Ravi is saying, ma'am, if we remove off in the first blank, can't we still use 4? We can't, because the second blank is saying lack of. Right? Why would they select ambitious smart cities citing lack of guaranteed returns? Illogical, right? The meaning is illogical if you go by what you said, Ravi. Are you following? Yeah. So either ways, because we have the context thanks to Sai, opt out of, right? That's another collocation. Opt out of something, meaning you're withdrawing. Yes, somebody also had mentioned withdraw. Opt out of the ambitious smart city, citing lack of guaranteed returns. Due to dash, the indigenous tribe of rainforest had to leave their homes and dash into their modern world. Due to dash, the indigenous tribe of rainforest had to leave their homes and dash into their modern world. So I want you to apply a little bit of collocations here, okay? Little bit of logic, little bit of collocation, you should get the answer right. Okay, your query is why not 4? Huh? In fact, I'm leaning towards 4 if you ask me. I don't know what the answer is, but let's look at all the options, okay? Flood, drought, tsunami, whatever it is, okay? Anything can go for the first blank. We're more focusing on the second blank, right? So they are leaving their homes and they are transitioning to the modern world. So pay attention to into as a preposition, right? Now, displace as a verb is usually followed by the preposition by, right? Or from. So I can eliminate option 1, those who said option 1. I will immediately eliminate option 1 because this verb displace, I'm using only collocation, right? Usually it is followed by and from, right? So I'm not going to use displace at all. Though displace also means to move, shift or force from the usual place of position, these are the prepositions that it follows. And remain into the modern world is illogical, so I can safely eliminate option 2. And travel into the modern world also is a little illogical, right? I have to choose between 4 and 5, and out of 4 and 5, personally, answer was given third, is it? And travel into their modern world, leave their homes and travel. I would lean towards 4 actually. Move into that makes more sense. Due to tsunami, the indigenous tribe of rainforest had to leave their homes and move into their modern world makes more sense for me if you ask me. Just with the collocation, move into. I would say go to and not go into. Anyway, I am closing in on 4 because for me it makes logical sense. In fact, if you look it up, I'm sure there is a context to it, right? The indigenous tribe, whatever. Maybe you can look it up. I'm not going to go into the details of it. Okay. Basically, they're saying, they were affected by the tsunami, so they moved into their modern world. So that makes more sense for me. Anyway. You guys can look up the source of it. I have no idea where the source is from. I am just going by applying collocations, eliminating wrong answer options and zeroing in on the most logical response for me is 4. As he dash, the substitute just brushed a post dash a kick. So here, let's look at it. As he did something, the substitute did something else, right? Again, brushed. So the context is what's the general tense in the context? Past tense, right? And if you look at the options, the only option that gives past tense is 3. Now, ticked down. To tick down something, actually, I don't even know people, I haven't heard people use this if you ask me, right? Literally, if you talk about it, it is making reference to time. Like you're counting, you're ticking down the time. That's what it says. As he ticked down, meaning reference to maybe he was counting down the minutes or counting down the seconds, the substitute just brushed a post dash a kick. So even if you are confused with all these prepositions here, through, with, from, what will come, in terms of the general tense in the sentence, brushed being your clue word, the only option that gives me a past tense is option 3. I am familiar with tick off as a phrasal verb, right? This verb tick and then off. I know tick off. Tick off means to annoy somebody. But honestly, I have never had people use tick down. Yeah? So yeah, like I said, if you ask me, with a kick, he managed to push him down or whatever, right? I can't come up with sentences with by a kick simply because I feel it's grammatically incorrect. But maybe you guys can, that's what I'm saying. If you can come up with sentences with by a kick, please feel free to put it down. Yeah? So anyway, not spending a lot of time here. Keeping in mind the general tense in the context. Honestly, this sentence didn't make logical sense to me. As he kind of kept looking at the time, and as the time slipped by, the substitute just brushed a post with a kick? Maybe. At least little bit of sense that I can make out of this. Yeah.